What's up, baby? Just heard a barred owl go off. Don't know if you could hear him. Man, it sounds like spring. Feels like spring. It's early February. Upper 50s. I think it's supposed to be in the low 60s next couple days. It's wild. I love it. Perfect day to get out and bring my... Check out this. I got a train of habitat improvement tools. Look at that. It's just a train, baby. That's how we do it. Got all the tools of the trade. We're going to be doing some work today before it gets dark. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing. But up here is where one of our food plots were. Kind of ran up through this way. We also had a strip of it running here. Thick tree line right here. Bedding that way. Big woods that way. And then even deeper bedding areas that way. So lots of great activity up in around the food plots this year. The bedding areas, the mock scrapes I've created. There's a couple mock scrapes up here, and we had big old mature bucks visiting these scrapes, visiting these food plots, and that's not a surprise, but they were coming up in daylight hours, shooting hours, right? All through the end of October, all through November, and even into December, and I'm still getting some pictures. It's early February. Bucks are still holding their racks around here. Historically, they tend to hold their racks up through around March, believe it or not. That's a sign of good health. That's a sign of a good herd health. So I don't mind seeing those racks up through the early spring. Just a couple days ago, we had a nice buck, probably a 3-year-old, right on camera over here, still at his rack. And then a couple 100 yards from here had a really nice big mature 10 point with a really funky looking rack, and he is probably 4 or 5-year-old, just an old boy, big old belly, big shoulders. Alrighty, so you can just see how thick it is down in here. This is a great bedding area. The doe family groups use this bedding. There's a lot of rubs and stuff. You can just see there's, you know, half a dozen rubs right in here from last year. They like to come up right here. There's a little bit of a draw here, a little bit of a low area. Numerous trails kind of intersect right here. They come right through here. They came up from there, down there. They also come parallel to this little strip right up through here. And then there's trails that angle down that way. So it's a main hub. And we're going to take a little walk down through here. I just want to see how things are looking in here. Just see what some of the sign from last year looks like. I haven't really been in here yet. There were some bigger trees I knocked down last year. Had made a video about that. Knocked down, so there were some walnuts and things like that. I just knocked them down. Get a little more sunlight in there. Thicken this up even more. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of jump on one of the trails here. It's already starting off pretty thick, hard to get through here. But here we go. So there's a trail that comes right up through here. Pretty fresh, still being used. It kind of comes right through here. One thing I wouldn't mind doing, you can see right through here, there's some white pines. There's one right there. One thing I notice about this area is there are some random pines growing, and that might be the type of area where I come in, knock out those other trees around that white pine that are competing with it, and just open that up, let that pine grow, because if we get some good evergreens growing in here, then that's going to give you even more diversity. Evergreens got nice thermal bedding cover. So anyways, that trail right through here. So right here is an intersection. So it definitely comes up through here. Straight up through here. It looks like there's multiple trails actually intersecting here. So let me just step down here. You see right here, there's a trail that's coming up. It's parallel to the one I was just on. Just look how thick it is over there. It's nice and thick. Some good horizontal cover over here. But we got multiple trails intersecting right here. So there's one coming in right here. It runs parallel to that strip up there. And then this one goes straight down there. So I'm going to take a walk this way real quick. Just see what this parallel trail looks like. Yeah, there's a trail coming up this way too. And it comes right up there. Look at that. There's some droppings. There's some old droppings. There's droppings there. Man, there's just trails everywhere up here. So one of my stands is about 60 yards up that way. I could see it sorta. But this trail is pretty heavy used. Look at that. You can see straight through there. So this trail comes in this way, but then there's a trail going straight up to that opening. And then this trail will loop you around from where we came in. There's just so many little trails in here. They just love to meander through this thick stuff. So I'm walking up this way. You can see we got this big old, looks like a maple. This maple's pretty big right in here. And then there's a nice opening right here. Just because you get this canopy cover here, so there's not as much growing. But my stand, man, it's wide open right there. You could see it, you know, obviously we're in the middle of the winter, but if a deer was creeping up here and you didn't know it was here, and it looked up at you, and you moved just a little, moved your leg, they'd be able to spot you, and they'd be able to get out of here. A big buck, like a big mature buck, he can creep up through here without making a sound, potentially spot you, and move away without you ever knowing he was here. But what I'm noticing here is, look at this. This looks like a bed. You see that? Looks like a bed right here. Seeing if there's any fresh hair. It's definitely a little round flat area right here. It's right on the back side of this tree. Southwest wind would come in this way, so a deer could lay here facing downhill, keeping an eye below it, be able to smell what's coming above it. Here it's got this tree here as a backstop. So they actually come right up through here. There's some droppings there. And then there's actually a trail right on the edge here that they can pop out. There's droppings there. They can pop out right here, but we got our stand right there. We call that the redneck ninja stand. You really got to monkey up that to get into that stand, and it's up really high. So you got to be a ninja to get up there. Okay, so I'm getting some ideas here. So we got the edge right here. Got our stand there. We definitely have a trail that enters from here. Got some beds that we spotted down in here by this big maple. And what else? Let me get down out of the sun here because I can't see. Yeah, there's a trail right here. It comes right up. It comes right out. Look at these droppings here. With some big old droppings. This trail busts out right here. Deer come creeping up here. And then they can enter the opening. We still got our stand over there. All right, let me just walk this edge. I have an idea. I'm going to share it with you guys here in a moment. All right. Say hi to Mr. Eggplant. Hello. All right, so I have an idea. I think I know what I'm going to do up here. So I'm just walking in the opening here. So we were just down in there. You can see how they just mowed down this food plot this past year. So we got our stand here. This is the Redneck Ninja stand. Right up in there. And what we noticed, so there's that big tree in there, a big maple that we were looking at. And actually, I think this is right in the vicinity of where the trail came up. And another thing I'd like to do is maybe knock down some of this stuff just to create more horizontal cover. There's good cover here, but my fear is if you're coming up, climbing up in this stand here, you could potentially be spotted if there's deer bedded right there, right? We saw that there were some beds in there. Now it's dead of winter, and obviously they could see really easy right now. You know, the end of October, early November, there's still some leaves on the tree, some greenery in this part of the country. So there is some good cover already here, but as you get a little higher up, it's going to be a little more open. A deer might spot you. So I don't know, just maybe some of this bigger stuff, knock it down and then create an opening here, an opening there. It's just a nice little enhancement to help direct travel is what I'm thinking. If you have a little nook here, like we knock a little semicircle of this cover out and then brush hog it right in that way, this is where they're coming up on one of those trails. It's going to be a little more inviting for them to creep up, start to stage before they come into this opening. And you're going to have shots from up there. So I think that's what we're going to do today. So this will kind of be part one of the exciting habitat projects of 2024, baby. But we're going to be leaving that stand there. I like that spot. We also do have a stand down here I haven't pointed out. We got to turn it a little bit, but we're going to be doing some stuff on that little draw over there where we started as well. I don't know if we'll get to it today, but anyway, we got all year 2024, baby. Let's get this project started. All right, so Mr. Eggplant, we are going to start some of our habitat projects for 2024. What do you think of that? Not much to say. Okay, so we're going to start on that end, do a little brush hogging, clear out some access for these big old mature bucks to creep up in here. What do you think of that, buddy? No? Well, you just sit back and relax. Hi. Hi. All right, so there's a lot of briars and stuff in here, so I'm going to wear the face shield, and I got a leather coat on so I don't get tore up. We're going to get the old DR going. Let's do it. All right. All right, so we've only been at it for less than 10 minutes. So you could just see this big opening we created here. And so the idea, look how easy I can walk in here, right? This runs right into the trail, which is right here, that we came up on where that bedding was. And there's a bunch of droppings and stuff right in here. So they come up through here and they like to enter right here. So what I did was just made this a little more inviting, right? A little more open. So what they'll do is they can come up here, kind of stage before they get to the food plots, which are going to be you know, from here the food plot will still be, you know, 30 yards away or so. But we got our stand right there, and we're going to start to get shot opportunities. Plus, when a big buck comes up, he's going to come up cautiously, right, before he enters this opening. And so what we want to do is get him up here, turn this way, so we have a nice broadside shot. So we're going to have to put in a mock scrape right in here, maybe on this tree, or maybe just in here. But I'm going to be knocking some of this down. So that was a very simple thing we did, but it could do a lot for us, right? I'm not going to do more in here. I think this is good enough. But what I am going to do is I want to push some of this standing cover here. There's some of these trees, like that one's probably 4 inches. There's a bunch of small sapling size, but there's some bigger stuff. And I just want to hinge cut that sort of high and push that down more for screening and cover, for getting in that stand and sitting in that stand. I'm going to knock some of this stuff down first. Just push it down, high hinge cut it. Really make sure this opening is open here. I'll probably take these couple trees out here. That way we have this open. Push this stuff down. You could even see all the old rubs coming up here. They've been coming up here for a while, this opening. So there's rubs there, rubs there. There's a rub up here. These are old rubs from years ago, but they're still using it. So when you find areas like this, when you have these travel corridors, these edge fringe areas, and deer like to use them year after year, you want to support them and enhance them as much as you can. So that's what we're doing here. Let's get to the next part of this, shall we? One of the issues is there's some vines up there holding a lot of this. So I think I'm going to have to cut them all at once and then try to pull them all down. So if we can just drop this. There we go. That's what we want, right there. That's a good height too. There we go. This actually worked out in our favor, because we want the horizontal cover and we want it up a little higher. So the vines are holding on to the tops of all these. We just need to drop them and get them more horizontal. So we're just going to keep working at it. We're starting to get the angle we want. Can't pull down, but we got this bigger one here, and we're gonna hinge it. It's leaning a little bit this way, so I'm just gonna give it a nice little cut here and then see if I could use the habitat hook to push it the rest of the way. And we want it to go right in there. Alright, so we got a nice little cut there. It's not pinching, so that's good. So I'm going to see if we could use the habitat hook. Put it right in there. Uh-oh. We got more vines. We're holding it up. These vines are brutal. Whew. All right, we got it moving in the right direction. You can see it'll create a nice hinge, but the problem is the vines up there. I've got some of these other ones hinged back here, but it just extends further and further. But we moved it quite a bit already. So we're gonna get a little creative. We're gonna try to use the winch from the Polaris. So it'll give us some nice, safe working distance. and just try to pull this down. Again, we don't want it all the way down. We just want to kind of close this gap a little here. You can see we've done a bunch here already. It's starting to create the screen that we want, nice and thick, right? So the deer don't try to go through there. They're going to go this way, or ideally this way. So we're just trying to drop this even more, right? We want it right across here. So we're going to bring the Polaris as close as we can and hook her up. All right, Mr. Eggplant's in the house. I have an old come along that's completely seized up, so I'm not going to try to mess with that now. We're just going to try to use the winch. We're close enough. That tree isn't that big, so we should be able to get this to work. At least Mr. Eggplant thinks we can. Mr. Eggplant, is this going to work or what, brother? Yeah, I think so. All right, Mr. Eggplant, I think I'm all set. So guys, we have Mr. Eggplant at the helm of the winch. Winch cable's plenty long enough. Now we want the winch to be pulling from the top. We don't want to pull it from here because it'll just separate from the stump. We're trying to hinge this. So I actually have it hooked onto my habitat hook. That way we got the leverage from the top. So this should be incredibly interesting, to say the least. This is Whitetail Habitat Design 101, baby, with Mr. Eggplant and crazy old Michael Anthony outdoors. All right, let's see what we can do here. Let me lock it up. I got the thumbs up from Mr. Eggplant. Make sure I'm out of the way and something crazy happens here. Okay, looking good. Here we go. Okay, it's working. All right, we're getting a little hung up on this tree here. Let me just, yeah, there's some tension on that, so we want to be careful. Yeah, we're getting a little hung up here, but that's hinged here. There we go. Yeah, there's not too much tension on it right now. We just want to make sure that doesn't slip off of that branch, which it could happen, but we're going to be a safe enough distance away. All right, let's continue. I'm going to get inside. We're going to protect it here. Oh yeah, it's coming down. This is perfect. We're almost at the right level. Habitat hook slipping a little. All right, I'm just gonna let some of this out, reposition the habitat hook. There we go, let that fall. Now we should be able to reposition that in an ideal position. This is almost low enough, I might even be able to grab it from here. Yeah, we are almost perfect. We just want it maybe 4 more feet lower than where it's at. I think that's it right there. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, this is great. Exactly what we wanted. All right, Mr. Eggplant, way to go, brother. Way to go. This is exactly what we wanted. All right. Yeah. I knew Mr. Eggplant would come through for us. Thank you, sir. So the habitat hook came in handy. I didn't expect to use it with a winch, but it worked. And so let's take a look at this horizontal cover we have now. And look at this. We got browse at deer level. There we go. This is exactly what we wanted. So if you come down here, we had that bed right here. We have these trails coming up from here, here, over here. Now, when you're down at deer level, you get this nice horizontal cover here, right? And the only openings is right towards the Polaris or right up this way. But I'm even wanting to close this off a little more to force them out that way. Bring us out right in front of the stand, okay? So I will take the habitat hook and pull these other 2 trees that I hinged just to fill in that backside there. Now we have a nice horizontal cover. We're gonna have some browse from these because they're connected still. So they should stay alive at least for a little bit, but there's so much browse in here, it doesn't really matter. We're not really trying to create food out of this, but it will create some nice browse anyway. So we probably have an hour until it gets dark. Me and Mr. Eggplant are getting a little tired. We didn't do a ton of work today, but we did one little enhancement here that worked out perfectly. So we're just going to do a little more touch up, and then we're going to call it a day. Hope you're enjoying the video. We're going to be doing more of this. Maybe you're getting some ideas on things to do on your property. Again, we have diversity, we have edge, we have cover, we have bedding, we have food. That's what it's all about. If you can check all those boxes, then you're going to do well. So I'm expecting that this will carry over for us. Man, those vines, look at them. You can see the vines still connected there. And then just all through there, these vines are rough. Look at this big old vine going up here. They're just spread out all over here. All right, guys, I think we're done for the day. I did a couple more cuts here. So you're gonna see we got quite the cover here now. So if you get down at deer level, right, can't even see my tree stand. We got nice horizontal cover here. I just got to clean this up a little here so they have that opening. I actually hinged this tree just to bring more cover down this way. That way, if they pop out any of these trails behind me, or if they're bedding down in here, or bedding even right in here, all that cover up there will help protect me from getting in that stand and give them some security down here, but also to enhance that travel route they were already using, which is that way, even this way. They'll have to go around this stuff, and then we'll have a mock scrape up there for that stand. So even if they come this way, they turn broadside, boom, got a shot. They come up this way, they turn in broadside, hit that mock scrape on the edge, and then you have some shots. So I like what we did here. We also, the nice thing with hinge cutting this, because of all these vines, we actually pulled some of these grapevines down. They're now at deer level. We got some additional browse, some additional food, which is what you want in bedding like this. So they'll be able to feel secure in here, have some food, have some cover, have some openings to bed in, and then we're gonna be covered up here getting in our stands. So all right, that's it for now. Me and Mr. Eggplant are gonna head out. You just missed Hunter. He was in and out real quick, did a quick check on us, and who knows where he went. But anyway, thanks for watching. We're going to be doing more of these projects as we go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you later.
It's just a ride. It's beside story. It's just
It's got Mr. Eggplant. There he goes. He's got him.
Just a ride. Just a ride. It's beside story. It's just a ride. It's beside story. It's just a ride. Just a ride. Just a ride. It's just a ride. It's just a ride. It's just a ride. world, so it's just a ride.